Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video I wanted to make a list of the must-have heroes in AFK journey for beginner and also late game players, kind of the essential heroes to be building and targeting on your account. So I want to lead it off by talking about a hero, Velara. Velara is a hero which definitely is considered a must-have hero for everyone, and you want to build her all the way up to Supreme Plus for a maximum effect. And the reason is she is so good for AFK stages, for the buff stealing that she provides and increasing your damage output, and she is really good for Dream Realm. Mainly she specializes in pre-endless Dream Realm, but like if you're an earlier game player, and even in Endless, you can make use of Velara. She does give your team up to 45% of her own attack to your entire team, which is a huge buff. So Velara is one of those definitely must-have heroes, must-build heroes. Really overall, just solid hero. You're never probably going to regret ever having her built on your account, even for many years to come. And that's really what this list is going to be about. Now next up, I want to talk about Hugin. Hugin I also consider a must-have hero for beginners and late game players alike. The reason for that is he can work in Dream Realm when you're an earlier game player. You know, he provides a buff with his mechanized bond to the ally one tile behind him. He also can work really well in AFK stages. He provides a lot of shielding to your allies, and that's really helpful and actually necessary for some AFK stages. And you can even use him in PvP as well. He's actually a pretty good option to buff up like your hyper carry, whether it be Shemira or Galahad in like more early game PvP. So overall, Hugin, again, really a strong hero. Even if maybe he gets phased out of Dream Realm to an extent, there's always his use in AFK stages, which is really, he's the best shielder for your team and will always be valuable. So really Hugin, awesome hero, and you will never regret building him. Now, I want to talk about Mehira. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean building Mehira all the way, but one copy of Mehira is an absolute game changer for AFK stages, and really, if you look at record formations now, they're all going to be involving at least Mehira in almost every single record formation. So you can't really do without her. And the good news is she works at one copy. So even for beginner players, I actually recommend the first Celestial Hypogean you pick up to be one copy of Mehira, just because it's going to help you so much in AFK stages. Then of course, fully building her out also has value for late game players. Not only for AFK stages, but also for Dream Realm, where she is actually for Endless Dream Realm. She is in top teams and probably will be for some time in the future as well. So Mehira, again, must-have hero, must have a one copy definitely, and eventually everyone would like to have her built up all the way to Supreme Plus as well. Okay, moving on down the line. We have a couple of debatable heroes here, which I'm probably going to leave towards the end. So we're going to move right on to Smokey. So Smokey is a hero he's a great attack buffer, haste buffer, and massive healer. And early game, at least from my experience playing early game, Smokey was a must-have in your Dream Realm teams. He was even used in AFK stages when I started, playing AFK Journey. Now he's not going to be used in AFK stages as much. There are a lot of other options there. But even for Dream Realm, for late game players right now, in Endless difficulty, he is the best buffer, supporter, and also damage outputter to be paired up with Galahad on your team. And so in the previous season, Smokey was in like 5 to 6 out of the 8 different Dream Realm bosses top teams. And that is a great performance. So Smokey is a hero you're never going to regret building on your account or having, because he just brings so much to the table. Moving on to Pandora. Pandora still, I do consider to be a must-have hero for everyone. The reason for that is for Endless Dream Realm, she is a great damage dealer. She has HP loss damage. But not only that, she's also very good for PvP. Because, she's going to grant your ally 1000 energy 4 seconds into the match coming out of the box, as long as Pandora is able to survive up until that point. And that is really game changing for even early PvP and also even late game. You can definitely make Pandora comps work. They are very strong. Obviously, late game, they are a little bit weak to enemy Dunlinger, even potentially enemy Lily May. There are ways of countering Pandora, of course. However, definitely, Pandora is a solid hero in PvP and also Endless Dream Realm. And for those reasons, I still consider her totally must-have, and probably not really any time in the future is she at risk of being removed from the meta. So Pandora, another really important hero to be building on your account. Now, I'm not going to be, so we're going to skip right to the next one, Galahad. Galahad is going to be the best Endless Dream Realm damage dealer in the game currently, and by a long shot. Previously, it was Ludovic, and that's why we just skipped over him right now. And that is why Galahad is basically put Ludovic on the bench, and no longer being a major priority to be building up, or even must-have status. Of course, he does have niche usage like Ravage Rum. But like when we're talking about, the most important 15 heroes to have on an account, Galahad has removed Ludovic from that list, but she is one of the top ones on the list because of how high damage she does for Endless Dream Realm. In the previous season, like 7 out of 8 of the bosses, she was in the top team. And if you didn't have Galahad on the team, you're going to be losing out on up to like 200, 300 billion in score. You cannot compete with the players who built up Galahad. So she's a must. For everyone, she's a must build. And she has huge value late game. And also, interestingly, this season, this phase, she was used in even high deficit, high level AFK stage pushing in quite a few comps. Because she brings a lot of damage to the table. And also can proc artifacts which need multiple ultimates. Because both her and her shadow clone, they both cast ultimate at the same time. So you're basically getting 2 ultimates for the price of 1, which is really powerful for those artifacts, which trigger based on ultimates casted. So Galahad, really strong. She's also good in PvP and usable. So definitely Galahad is a must-have, must-build status on an account. Moving on to Shemira. So Shemira is still, even though like it's been over a year of Shemira's release, she is still the queen of pre-Endless Dream Realm. You're gonna always be seeing her in almost every Dream Realm boss comp, unless of course it is a really unique boss like Blightshroom, which doesn't let you cast ultimate, or Doom Scourge, which just wants to eat summons. Like those are unique bosses, right? But for the most part, the other bosses, you're gonna see Shemira in it because she is still the best true damage dealer in the game. She's also good, of course, for various other boss content, whether it be Glyph Shade boss, battle drills, or Titan Reaver is going to be coming up this phase as well, at least based on the calendar. So then she's probably definitely going to be topping the charts of damage for that. Ravage Rum, of course, and also she's a beast in PvP. Really, Shemira is really solid in PvP because you can run her in those sort of fortress comps, like having Callan Protector, Ludovic Healer, Daimon Shielder, and then you're just waiting, buying time for Shemira to cast her ultimate and let loose, and that is going to basically annihilate the enemy team and repeatedly kill them even if they have revives. So Shemira is really a beast. She's really a strong hero overall, and you're never going to regret having her built on your account. Okay, let's move on down the line. We have Daimon. Daimon is a must-have hero for everyone. And the reason for that is he is a good buffer. He has like a pretty big attack buff to his chosen ally. And that is really useful for Dream Realm. And you're going to see Daimon in having decent usage for Dream Realm, both pre-Endless and also in Endless difficulty. He has some HP loss, basically pure damage of his own, which makes him a decent sub DPS in Endless. Then on top of that, like early game, you can use him in AFK stages because he's really tanky with his shield. And then also you can use him in PvP and he's really effective there as well. So overall, Daimon, just really solid hero, really strong hero, totally must build status. And yeah, you'll want to build him all the way, of course, to Supreme Plus. Okay, next up we have Eironn. Eironn is still going to be a must-have hero, even though he's been here since global launch. And he isn't seeing as much usage as he once did. He still is seeing more than enough usage to make him must-pull status, because he has the unique effect that at the beginning of battle, he can cast an ultimate without the cost of any energy, as long as you have his Mythic Plus upgrade, that's needed, and immobilize the enemies for up to 6 seconds with the exclusive equipment upgrading. And that's really powerful, and basically the ability to displace the enemies into a position you like, it's really needed for AFK stages. There are certain AFK stages which are just not clearable if you don't have Eironn on your account. Of course, eventually anything can be clearable with anything once you're over level, but basically for a competitive level, Eironn will be needed for some stages because of that utility that he provides. And so that is why Eironn, just really solid hero. Again, you're probably never going to regret having him built, even though now Mehira does his job to an extent, and that is why he has become a little less important. He still is important enough that you're going to feel the pain if you don't have Eironn on your account, and so that's why he still must have, even for late game players. He is needed but of course it's really only for AFK stages, because the only other game mode is PvP, where you can use him, and he is not the greatest in PvP, although he can be fine there. Okay, then we have the twins. The twins are the face of AFK Journey. They are still, it's been like a year, right? It's been over a year, and they are still the top Celestial Hypogean hero to be building all the way to Supreme Plus for any new player, because of the crazy buffing value they provide as these Celestial supports, that they are needed for Dream Realm. Like, usually for pre-endless and endless both, like almost every team is going to be using twins in them, the top team. And then you can also use them in AFK stages. You can even use them in PvP. So they are a jack of all trades, but they really specialize in Dream Realm, and it's an essential part, basically, having the twins. And you can even use them at low copies when you're a newer player, and it can still work for some Dream Realm for AFK stages. So overall, the twins are just a really important hero to have and also build up on your account. The most important Celestial Hypogean to fully build on your account. Okay, we're gonna move on. Faramor. So Faramor is a must-have hero, in my opinion. He has some Dream Realm usage. He has high damage output and attack buff for a chosen ally. But also, equally or even more importantly, he is needed for some AFK stages. Now, early in the season, like where we're at right now, if this is phase 1, you're not going to see Faramor as much. But when you move into phase 2 and phase 3, Faramor is going to be used eventually in almost every stage as a damage dealer, even when you have every single hero built on your account. Like, I have every hero built on my account, but at the end of the season, like in the previous season, Faramor is going to be used in most stages because he brings basically the most true damage that you can bring to an AFK stage. He also prevents healing, basically. And there's so much value behind that for AFK stages. So Faramor is essential for AFK stages. He's also good for Dream Realm. For PvP, he's not the greatest. The problem is he has survival issues in PvP. But if somehow he can get off his ultimate in PvP and not die, he can blow up enemy teams. So Faramor, really solid hero, and really must build status onto your account. Okay, so we are gonna continue on the list here. I am being very, very critical, as you guys probably are noticing. There are other heroes which are nichely useful and things like that, but we're going really critical because this is also helpful, because it really helps people or maybe new players to laser focus in on really the most important heroes. So we're gonna talk about Thador next. Thador is a must-have hero. The reason for that is for AFK stages, you're going to be using Thador as the most frequently used tank. Unless you're a pay-to-win player and you have Ulna. Even then, obviously, Thador's going to be used plenty. But maybe, arguably, Ulna is the most used tank at that point. But Thador, for majority of players, is the most used tank in AFK stages because he has a crazy Crescent Cleave. This has a knockdown for 1.5 seconds. It's only on a 6-second cooldown, and actually he ends up cycling this and spamming this so quickly that it almost permanently chain crowd controls enemies who are grouped up, and it's a 2-tile crescent arc. That is a wide range thanks to his long sword, right? So like that is why he is so essential for AFK stages, and he combos really well with Mehira, because Mehira has some light, like, I wouldn't say light crowd control, but she has maybe not the longest duration of crowd control with her charms and entrances. But then Thador basically he complements her by providing that additional crowd control you need, that basically you can keep the enemies chain crowd controlled and not able to do anything until either your Faramor kills them, or your Saida kills them, or your Bryon kills them, whatever you're using as an AFK stage hero. So that is basically why Thador is a must-have hero. Now, one important thing about him is you really do want to get him to plus 10 exclusive equipment, because this gives that 350 energy right at the beginning of battle to the ally behind him. And that's useful in AFK stages, and it's also very useful in PvP. And this is the other thing about Thador. He's an absolute beast in PvP, granting 350 energy to a chosen ally like a hero like Siren, who already begins with 600 energy, allows you to pull off combos and get off ultimates earlier than you ever could, and really, it is, pretty oppressive. And then also, you know, even we've seen in Stellar Ascent and different things, having Thador, you know, buffing up Shemira's energy, allowing her to get off her ultimate more quickly. Even in AFK stages, strategies like that are important. So this is why Thador, a really important hero, must-have hero, essential for you to be building on your account. Okay, now the next hero I want to talk about is Kordan. Kordan is the most recent hero who we are adding to this list of must-have status, and the reason for that is he provides a really big attack buff and damage amplification buff to allies within his hunting circle, which are basically allies within 1 to 2 tiles from himself, depending on exactly where he's located, and that is very powerful. It is basically making him the best buffer for pre-endless Dream Realm, and that is why in 4 out of 8 of the Dream Realm bosses right now, Kordan is in the top team, or maybe second best team. And because what you do is you have Reinier to position swap Shemira into Kordan's hunting circle, and then she's just going to go crazy with all of this damage amplification and attack buff. And this is really the meta currently for Dream Realm, a lot of Dream Realm, having Kordan just basically as that buffing utility role. He himself doesn't contribute that high damage, and really his only role is this boss content, Dream Realm. He doesn't have AFK stage use, he doesn't have PvP use, but because he is basically the best buffer for either melee damage dealers who just walk up into his hunting circle, or heroes which are position swapped by Reinier into his hunting circle. Because he does that so well, better than any other hero, it makes him really a must-have status on your account. And the good news about Kordan is, as long as he can survive, he can work in boss content even at low copies, because his attack buff comes on his ultimate. It isn't gonna, and it begins with the 1000 energy. It isn't based on his other skills. But the only important note is that he does unlock more damage boosting potential with the Supreme Plus skill, which is why eventually you want to get him all the way to Supreme Plus, because it gives 50 penetration. And now, that is obviously important, and also it improves his own survival. But the other good thing is you don't even have to invest high into his exclusive equipment, because even at +5, he basically gets the job done. Yeah, because he doesn't need his exclusive equipment being upgraded. Okay, now we're gonna go for some honorable mentions, or no, now we're gonna go for actually the last hero I have to mention, and it's a tough one. It honestly is really tough, whether to include this hero in honorable mentions or not. We just talked about the Kordan synergy with Reinier position swapping Shemira, so of course, that synergy, you need to have Reinier in order to pull off that synergy. Now, currently, as it stands, he is meta for pre-endless Dream Realm. Multiple bosses, he's in the top team. Without him, you're going to lose out heavily on score. The other thing is you only need to upgrade him to Mythic Plus, which is 8 copies. You don't have to take him all the way to Supreme Plus like other Celestial Hypogeans, so he's less of an investment. And then, of course, he has that great value with Kordan, like we talked about, swapping a ranged hero into the Kordan hunting circle. There's huge value behind that. Now, so definitely Reinier, he's a solid hero. Maybe you can delay it and wait to see if he gets power creep. You know, that's basically what it means. Reinier still is a beast currently. We're gonna put Solise in the honorable mentions. Now, I don't consider her a must-have, but she is really nice to have for pre-endless Dream Realm. She provides great survival for your team. She has been in the top team for some boss comps, but again, not absolute necessary, because even if you don't have her, using Velara in place of her is a really good option. And when we don't have survival issues anymore, Velara is going to be superior to Solise. Solise was used a bit in AFK stages, like, you know, pushing cutting edge AFK stages, but as you level up and you have less survival issues, or just you need more raw damage from your team, Velara is the go-to. Velara enables more damage output from your team, but Solise provides more survival for your team. That is basically the difference between the two. But Solise also attack buffs, of course, but just not as much damage output potential as Velara as a supporter. So that is what we have for Solise. Ravion is a honorable mention. Ravion is definitely a good hero, don't get me wrong, and he's used for pre-endless Dream Realm, even in some top teams. Well, not really usually top teams, or maybe second, third best teams, budget team options. He's also really good in PvP. I'm a big fan of Ravion. I think he's a great hero, but I think that he's not quite on the tier of the other must-haves that we said. That's why he's going to be an honorable mention. Ludovic is an honorable mention only for Ravage Realm. That's his basically only usage right now, so really I don't even know if I can put him in honorable mention, but he is good in PvP as well. But like for Dream Realm, he's basically being completely power crept by Galahad. Now, for the Celestial Hypogenes, I'm not really even going to talk about them, because you can watch my Celestial Hypogene priority guides and we break down all of the Celestial Hypogene heroes. We just talked about the main ones for, like, you know, the must-have status, which are twins, and then Reinier after that. Now Shadewing. A lot of people are curious about Shadewing, because he's been doing pretty well this season for pre-endless Dream Realm, definitely. However, he's not at the tier that I consider him a must-have yet. Like, obviously, you should be building him if you're a long-term player and you don't have him on your account, but you have the other heroes built up. Definitely, you should be building Shadewing. But the thing is, he's probably only going to be a pre-endless Dream Realm damage dealer. At least, not probably. Definitely, that is going to be the case. And right now, he's in some top teams for Dream Realm, but just not quite enough. Like, he is very similar to Solise in that regard. Both nice to have heroes, definitely, don't get me wrong, but like not at that level, not even at the level of Kordan. Kordan is even slightly above these other heroes, and that's why Kordan makes it to must-have, and these heroes are slightly, you know, honorable mentions. Shakir is an honorable mention, because, you know, there are going to be those occasional times where you need Shakir for his lupines or a buff, and you'll need him at plus 10 exclusive equipment for that. But the thing is, nowadays, you don't use him in many comps, and so it really kind of feels really awkward to build him, because you're just building him for that one niche sort of boss team where he is a part of it, and he's not even like long-term going to be in one boss for right now. So that is the thing. He's a good, like, he's a hero that, depending on what comes out, you could maybe need him for a team, but like, he's not at that high level. He's not at the must-have, you being used in multiple bosses. Rowan is an honorable mention. Rowan is actually really important. Of course, he can work a bit in Dream Realm, work a bit in AFK stages, and definitely you should be building him on your account. However, he's not, again, at that must-have status. He's not in any top Dream Realm team for right now. He is in some budget teams, and he's a solid hero all around, but not quite as impactful as the other heroes we had in the must-have tier. And we have Mikola, of course. She has some Dream Realm usage, especially in Blightstream Dream Realm boss, but that's basically it. Only Blightstream Dream Realm boss, which, yeah, I mean, just having one boss usage and when there are other options instead of her is not enough, you know, to put her into must-have. Basically, although definitely you should be building her as an honorable mention. The honorable mention here is you should be building, but like you can take your time. Like, they're not as essential as the other ones that we talked about. Zanie and Valka, I'm going to talk about together. They both have some Dream Realm usage, kind of on the niche side. However, yeah, in some backup teams, budget teams, you're going to be using them. They're really nice to have on your account, so you should definitely be building them. But maybe they're not the highest of priorities. So that is why they're not going to make it to the must-have, absolute must-have. Callan, I really like Callan. I think he's a good hero. However, again, it's mainly for I mean, if you're using him in AFK stages or like Stellar Ascent, things like that, or PvP is a beast in PvP. So like for those areas, Callan's really good. However, again, he doesn't make it a must-have status because he's not like used in Dream Realm or any top team. He's not like used in multiple AFK stages or anything like that. But occasionally you will need him. And Callan's really solid hero. I really like him. We have Ulmus, who is occasionally used in AFK stages. Now he isn't used even as much because you have Thador, right? Thador kind of is overshadowing Ulmus to a great extent. So if you have the other heroes built, you will not need to focus Ulmus as much. However, having Ulmus a Mythic Plus, he is going to see some value for AFK stages. So that is good. Florabelle for Doomscore Dreamon boss. She has some usage there. That is basically her only usage though. So that's why I cannot put her into the must-have. Kruger obviously also important for Dream Realm, but like he can work at low copies. He's mainly there just for the debuff, and that's why he's an honorable mention, but not an absolute must-have hero. Isabella is an honorable mention. She is a solid hero. She's in the best team for Nocturne Judicator, at least for right now. She buffs the frontmost ally on your team. Then there's utility behind that. Like there can be occasional bosses which are going to specialize with this sort of strategy, in which case Isabella is really nice to have. But again, nice to have hero, not absolutely at that must-have status tier. Bryon, he is good for AFK stages as a damage dealer. If you use him, like if you see in record formations that there are a lot of Bryon formations, then that makes it more of a priority to actually build him. He can help you for AFK stages when you're more limited on options. Yeah, like, of course, there are other heroes there, like Faramor, Velara, Saida, and things like that to be used in AFK stages, but if you are a more new player, and Bryon can be of help for you in AFK stages. So there we have Bryon. And Nazrik. Nazrik is also... This is awkward about Nazrik because, unfortunately, he's not been seeing great usage, which is really unfortunate. So at this point, I don't even know if I can recommend him, even as an honorable mention. But, like, Nazrik at plus 10 exclusive equipment, he does have high, basically, damage boosting potential for your team. But the thing is, it might not be quite enough to compete with heroes like Kordan. Like, this is the problem. If you're going to be in that sub-DPS damage boosting role, which Nazrik is in, you can be power crept out of Dream Realm just by having a better buffer sub-DPS come out. And Kordan seems to be slightly better than Nazrik, and this is the issue. So, yeah, and it's unfortunate because, like, Nazrik didn't have that much time to shine, but when he was released, he was really, really meta. He was using almost every boss, and now, like, he's nowhere to be seen. But I still wanted to give him the honorable mention because of all of that. And then we have Lucy for some AFK stages, although I haven't really even been seeing her or using her that much. However, yeah, and she's a collab. She's a previous collab hero, by the way, if you don't have her on your account. But yeah, you don't need to worry about it, but it's just one consideration. Probably nowadays, you can just try to avoid using her, go without her, probably. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully it is helpful. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section down below. If you have any other heroes which you think are important that I failed to mention, feel free to share your opinions about them in the comment section. That is always much appreciated. And if you're a newer player, good luck in AFK Journey. As long as you are focusing like your hero wish list with your right priorities, you're going to be progressing really well and effectively. And the thing is, they're going to be good heroes, meta heroes. As long as you're building up the meta heroes, it doesn't always matter which order exactly you're building them in. That's just a bit of min-maxing. You just eventually want to get all of the meta heroes built. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. That is going to be it for this video. And if you think about making a purchase in AFK Journey, please use my affiliate link for the official Farlight store. This is the best way you can support me and also gain 5% bonus dragon crystals on your purchase. My affiliate link is in the description of this video and a pinned comment, and you can actually bookmark this link in your browser, and whenever you're planning to make a purchase, just return to the bookmark link and make your purchase. It will support me and be greatly appreciated. So thanks for watching. I'll hopefully see you in the next video, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.